Oh, hey there. So, I don't know about you guys, but I was never really close with my grandfather. So, anybody on my father's side, I never met them at all. But on my mom's side, my grandfather, I feel like, has never really cared for me and has always just been either angry or belittling or uh, uninterested at best, right? Like, I'd call him up and be like, hey, yeah, I love you. And he's like, well, it's good talking to you. Goodbye, click. I'm like, all right, well, that's sweet. And so when I see older people, especially older men, I never really think about them as being involved in their children or their grandchildren's lives. And that's just from my own personal experience. And then every once in a while I see somebody like, and they'll talk about, man, my grandfather just died. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. But to me, it's kind of like, somebody that you kind of knew died, and that's sad. But to them, it's like, no, I love my grandparents. Are you kidding me? They were around my whole childhood. We did so many things together. Like, my grandfather's the one that taught me this and this and this. And yeah, I just always knew that he was there. I'm like, huh, that's a thing. I remember I was at church, maybe 6 weeks ago, and I saw a pretty old guy, and he was, on a walker, and he kind of walked in. You could tell he was wincing in pain, and it was just kind of like trying to stand up during the singing. And he looked over, and what I assumed to be his grandchild was there, and she looked up at him, and he looked at her, and all the pain went out of his face. And he smiled real big, and she smiled real big, and he went over the other people, the parents, his children, I'm assuming, and sat next to her, and they sat and played and just like enjoyed each other's company. And I was like, man, that's got to be wonderful. That's got to be wonderful to have somebody that loves you like that, somebody that cares about you like that. I want to be more like that guy. Anyway, something to think about. I know that Father's Day is hard for a lot of people. It used to be hard for me, and I just kind of got over it. I'm like, I'm not going to keep complaining about this. And I've tried to be a good father. I don't think I've succeeded, but I want to be somebody that my kids are like, I love hanging out with my dad, right? And maybe one day if I have grandkids, they'd be like, man, Grandpa's cool, right? Yeah, and I pray that you would have that too. Love you guys.